Well, you know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we put out a story by Jack Sanfelice about the Carney mining operation up there. And we did that on purpose so that we didn't have to go back and discuss all the things that were already on video. And we just played that for people to see. And we'll probably put that up here if they want to. If you haven't seen it, you can go back and review it. A lot of good information in there. But the purpose of this story is because you wanted to go there.
I couldn't resist. I mean, we went to Greg Davis's library and I saw this picture of this giant vein in the thing, and I go, "What is that?" He goes, "Well, son," he goes, this picture proves that there is gold in the Superstition Mountains." I go, "What do you mean?" And he whips out this rock and he shows me a rock with a piece of gold in it. And I go, "Where'd you get that from?" He said, "I just picked it up at the bottom of that mine."
Yep.
And that got me excited.
Well, sure. About 25 years ago, a friend of mine had met somebody that lived a few miles south of Florence and a couple of miles east. And he took me out there, and in this guy's yard was an entire pile of chrysocolla and stuff like it. And I have a bunch over there in my mining cart. And that all came out of the dump at the Carney mines. And he had picked it up probably 20 years before I saw it. So I have several pieces over there that we can show people on this video that came out of that mining operation. And also, you know, this was over on like I've said many times, I have never taken a compass into the mountains. So I always seemed to know where north, south, east, and west was, and I also know that the mountains are kind of on a southeast, northeast compass point. But on the very south side of the Don's Camp is where Carney was, and on the very north side of the Dacite cliffs from the Don's Camp is where Sturt was. Yeah. And although they were a few years apart and were never there at the same time, Sturt had a mining operation that we talked about in our last video that was right below the Carney mines. And there's the upper mine and the lower mine. The upper mine is really extremely difficult to get to, but your guide knew exactly how to get there.
And we got lost a little bit.
Oh, okay.
We did find it, but it was hard to find. It was really hard to find. I've taken a drone up that area a few times trying to find it. I can't find it with the drone.
Oh, wow.
I probably could now, but when I was looking for it, I could not find it. We did the Jack Sanfelice story.
I know I saw some pictures of some videos that you took there. There's some tremendous tunnels there, isn't there?
Oh, it really is. And I've been fascinated by that mine, to be honest with you. And there's a couple corrections I want to make from Jack Sanfelice video. I believe me, I have all the spectrum in the world for Jack Sanfelice, but there's some things there that are recent today that might be interesting. I've been to the lower mine, and I've walked back into that mine, and it goes back 800 feet, and then takes a right, and then takes a left, and then starts going up. And I was always wondering, why was that mine? Why did they dig there? There's no mineralization there at all. Hold on to that fact. We'll bring it back in a minute. But then I saw that picture from Greg Davis, and he showed me that picture of the guy standing in the mine, and there's this big vein of chrysocolla going up above their head that's like 2 feet wide and super mineralization. It's like you would see that in everything I've learned. And you go, that's got to be gold, silver, everything. 3
of the 4 largest gold mines in the planet are in exactly the same volcanics as the Superstition Mountains. Now, I'd like to show you a picture here that I just took recently. I saw it from somebody else, but we went over there the other day and took this picture of an intrusion of magma into the volcanic tufa, or whatever you call it, the volcanic ash. After the ash was laid down, a new chute of magma come up into it. And it's unique to see this, because this is exactly what happened at Goldfield as the volcanics intruded into the area over there where the Mammoth Mine is. And so these 2 pictures show conclusively that gold can come up from volcanics into a volcanic area. The whole area is volcanic. People try to separate Goldfield from the mountains. Goldfield and the superstitions are one and the same.
I've always wanted to go up there. I couldn't find it, so our wilderness guide said, "I'll take you up there," and I got real excited. So on the way up there, we stopped first at well, when you're going up, you take a veer off to the left, and it takes you to the Wave Cave. Take a veer to the right, and it takes you up to Carney Falls and to Shaka Cave. It's spelled Shaka, Shaka Cave. Jack Sam Felice called it the Teapot Cave, and I've been given a hard time for years about us calling it the Teapot Cave. It's officially the Shaka Cave, so I'm going to throw that out there. That is, it to me was an Indian habitation at one point. It's a beautiful cave. It's worth the hike just to go see that. I mean, it's really cool, and I'll show you some footage of it here. And there are some Indian, Native American stuff on the ground there, some pottery. I know that's where Jack said he saw a turtle. I didn't see a turtle when I was there. But looking out of the mouth of that cave, you can see the Pyramid Rock out on the reluvial slope there, if I said that correctly, where Jack says you hike to that and then you take a dogleg right. So I could see that. It's really steep. So we proceeded to climb up that hill. And once you get to, getting to that rock is not that bad. But boy, when you take that dogleg right and go across that cliff, that's scary and it's dangerous. And I hate to say don't go there because people will go there because I said don't go there. But, keep in mind it's not easy. No one that's been there will tell you it's an easy hike.
Well, now in 1983, a fellow done a survey of several places in the Superstitions. He went to the Palmer Mine, he went to the Carney Mines. There was a couple of other places he's done these surveys. He took some samples, he had some assays done. And of course, all these mines at that time were completely played out.
Right.
The Carney Mine was over by World War I because Carney went into the Army and was a captain in the Army. And he was often referred to as Captain Carney. And the Palmer Mine, the gold was down about 250 feet, and a fellow was killed in a dynamite accident. He's still buried in that mine, and how that mine has been closed for years and years and years. And he takes samples off the surface and in a played out mine at Carney, and he comes up with some figures. And you've done something with those figures, didn't you?
Well, supposedly according to this guy, Jenkins, I believe his name? Jinks. He claimed that there was between 400 and 440 tons of ore, ore taken out of, copper ore taken out of the Carney mine. Now this is at the top, not at the bottom. So according to his assay percentages, out of the, and I went to the high side, I went to 440 tons of ore that they brought out of that mine. According to that, if they use the gold percentages of the played out assay, they got 4.4 ounces of gold out of that giant mine that they were set up a town, a spring, and all those people with jackhammers, for working on there for years. They ended up with, a little over $14,000 worth of gold if they went for the gold. Yeah. Now I did the silver thing too, and they would have gotten 396 ounces of silver, which is, in today's value, that's a little over $13,000. And if you add the copper in there, at today's value, they got 572 ounces of copper, which is equivalent to, $1,600 today. So for they got less, according to that survey, they got less than $30,000 worth of minerals out of there, all combined, if they got it all.
But based on a played out mine.
Yeah, based on a played out mine. So.
Yeah, so they obviously got a lot more than that.
I hope they did.
So
and there again, I hope it wasn't just the riches were the stock that they sold and not the gold
so
they pulled out of the mountain.
There you go, folks. We've been told for years that there's no gold in the western part of the Superstitions, and this is the western part of the Superstitions, and there is a nice chunk of gold out of the Carney mine.
And it was just picked up. was just laying on the floor.
Didn't even know he had it till he got home. And
Didn't
looked
even
it
know it
over.
was there until he got home. But it's amazing. So that means there was probably way bigger values than were assayed.
Right, right.
But so up at the top of the Carney mine, I got there, and it's on a cliff. I mean, I'm not joking. It's on a cliff. You come down off a cliff, come around a corner, and there's this little gravel area and a flat, less resting area where they dumped all their ore. And I guarantee it was a cliff going straight down until they started dumping stuff there. And I went into that mine and walked in there, and my jaw just dropped. It was everything that I'd seen from that picture. There is a giant vein of copper in the ceiling.
Still there.
Still there. It's bright green and blue. I mean, it's everything you think you hear about. And the red rock was there. You know, it was. You know, it's everything is supposed to be to find mineralization for a gold and silver mine. And now, from what I understand, I didn't go to it, but from a guy who says around the corner there are several other entrances into the mine, but the part that we were in was the best to see. And I do have pictures of those from recently. Pictures of those. Those mines are still open. Now, notice at the front of the door it says danger, open pit. At the back of that mine, it drops off almost straight down. And here's a picture of it, you know, looking straight down. It drops straight off of there. And we'll go back to what I was talking about. There was the myth back from what I've been told, and you can verify that they always thought that the more mineralization, the further you went down, the more mineralization you found.
And that's why they dug the lower chamber.
They tried to line up with that vein that they found up at the top. Now, that mine is on a fault again. We've said this many times. It was on a fault, so there could be an uplift of mineralization and hot water and everything to come up and push all that gold, silver, lead, and copper up to the surface.
And although they wouldn't have known this, the geological survey that was done on mercury vapor in the superstitions, the results of that was that the geological survey stated that there was deep-seated mineralization in the superstitions. So there again, the thinking that the deeper you go, the more mineralization you would find is actually true based upon the geological survey. But they wouldn't have known that.
Yeah. But unfortunately, from what I understand, is they finally found the vein, and they started cutting a tunnel going upward, doing I guess they call that a stope. And that they found the vein, and immediately it petered out. So that whole giant tunnel was just a waste. They got all their mineralization from up top. And I guess that mine was not there originally. It had been dug by somebody before they even got there.
Well, that I don't know for sure.
There was some previous working or digging or prospecting up there before they even started digging it.
Wouldn't surprise me.
But you know,
must have been a lost Dutchman here.
Yeah, but that's But there again, I think the most money was made on selling the stock.
well, that's certainly true.
But it is amazing. The Carney mine opened up a road. It set up a little town. It set up a spring. It's actually a truly beautiful
spring's
place.
Still there, right?
The spring is still there. And that's one thing that Jack talked about, how it was tore down, but I found it. It's still there.
Yeah.
There are still foundations and ruins from the old mining camp that used to be there. And those tunnels are still there. They provide an amazing attraction that hikers flock to every day in the superstitions.
Yep.
It's still a beautiful place. It's not a loss.
Yep.
But it definitely is a mystery of the superstition.
Yes, sir. And they did. Now, here we go. Every hole in the ground is not a gold mine with a liar at the bottom of it.
Thank you for watching this episode of Mysteries of the Superstition Mountains.